What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Paul, along with my ridiculously bright t-shirt. This is the Leeds Therapy. Don't want any rude comments about my shirt. Just been to the gym, so you can have rude comments about me being a sweaty mess. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by as ever. I really do appreciate it. If you're not done so already, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, your notifications are turned on, and that you are commenting, liking and hyping. If you're listening to the audio version of this, just make sure that you are liking that and following us on Apple or on Spotify. Thank you so much. So, today's video, there's not loads of information that's come out, although, as I said that, there's a couple of bits and pieces that have come out that are worth talking about. So, what I wanted to do was kind of go through a bit of a state of play of where we're at with certain individuals, etc., so on and so forth, and just kind of little reminders in terms of players that we're looking at, and kind of where we are and what we're doing, and just in terms of players that are currently at Leeds and all of the usual good stuff. So it's not huge amounts of information because there isn't a lot out there. It's very, very, very quiet at the moment. Although Graham Smith has made an announcement that he's leaving the Yorkshire Evening Post, and he's going to be doing something else Leeds related. So questions on a postcard as to what that could be, we'll just have to wait and see. But anyways, let's jump straight into it and let's go through what we're going to look at. Okay. So today we're going to be looking at, if we can, in terms of the latest bits and pieces of information on Pavel Schultz, James Trafford, Julian Brandt, Shea Charles, John Stones, Yunus Musa and Jacob Zetterstrom. We're also going to have a little bit of a look with regards to Piroe as well, as I mentioned, and Lienou as well. There's a bit of information about him as well, good old Jaden. So the usual stuff, get yourself a coffee, sit down, get yourself a cup of tea, sit down. If you're going to dunk anything in it, I suggest a hobnob because they are the absolute military form of biscuits and they will last longer and not fall into your tea and ruin your brew. Anyways, let's jump onto it. So, Schultz, even. Jesus. Let's begin in France. Schultz remains one of the most interesting names currently linked with Leeds United this summer. The Czech international enjoyed another outstanding campaign before completing his move to Lyon. But Leeds' admiration for the attacking midfielder appears genuine. Reports throughout Europe continue to suggest Leeds have monitored Schultz extensively over the last 12 months, with Farke believed to be a huge admirer of his versatility. Now, I didn't realise that we had been monitoring for quite some time. Schultz can play number 10, wide attacking midfielder, central midfielder, false 9, and he is exactly the sort of footballer that we're targeting. That number 10 role, we all know that Farke wants somebody in that number 10 role. However, at this stage, there's no indication that Lyon are willing to sell after only recently bringing him to France. However, we do know Lyon's financial situation and they do need to sell players. So whether or not that's something that they're going to do, we'll just have to wait and see. Could we test the waters with it? Absolutely. But if I'm being 100% honest and I was to give it a Leeds Therapy rating, it would be 3 out of 10. Just keep an eye on it. That's the only one that I can say. James Trafford. Now, this one does refuse to go away. He's heavily linked with Leeds United. The Manchester City keeper, he's been viewed as one of England's brightest young keepers, young talents going, basically. He's calm on the ball, excellent with his feet, aggressive off his line, and importantly, he would fit exactly how Farke wants to play. Reports continue to place Trafford among Leeds' preferred goalkeeper options. A lot of people are saying he is our only option that we are going for, although there is fierce competition for him. Manchester City retain significant interest because of their buyback clauses and Premier League rivals continuing to monitor the situation. The feeling remains Leeds like Trafford enormously, but completing the deal depends on several moving parts. This certainly hasn't gone cold. If anything, it's simply become complicated. I'd currently rate this one maybe 6.5 out of 10, just due to the amount of money that this going to cost. Now, there has been a significant update this afternoon in that, and at the time of recording this, it is 4 p.m. The significant update has come from Villa, who were interested in Trafford, if reports are to be believed, but reports are now suggesting that they are not looking to sell Martinez, which potentially could strengthen our position in terms of going for it because it removes the competition for it. So again, we'll just have to wait and see. Julian Brandt, he does remain one of the stories of the summer. Reports have emerged, as we said earlier on, that his father and agent held discussions regarding a possible move to Leeds. He's been seen at the training ground. The optimism certainly went up a notch with that. Discussion involving Brandt's representatives have been reported, but no agreement has yet been confirmed. Brandt would be an unbelievable signing. The experience, Champions League football, German international, creative quality that Leeds simply don't currently possess. The biggest obstacle has never been convincing Brandt about Leeds. It's always been whether everything lines up financially. The wages, the signing on fee, competition from clubs across Europe, those are the hurdles. As things stand, this one feels alive. Not done, but definitely alive. And if the reports are to be believed, the offer that's been put onto the table for him is a 3-year deal, or the report that's been put out there. That's what's been offered to his father and agent. I'm sighing because it's Shea Charles. This is, for me, it's just the transfer saga that simply refuses to end. It's one of, apparently, Leeds' priority midfield targets. Southampton continue to value the player highly, and previous Leeds offers have repeatedly failed to convince them. However, the situation is becoming increasingly interesting. Charles has been absent from much of the transfer conversation recently. As we said, it's when things go quiet. Supporters have noticed he wasn't heavily involved during Southampton's preparations, although there has been no official indication that it is transfer related. The feeling from reliable journalists remains that Leeds haven't completely walked away. Instead, negotiations appear to have slowed while other deals progresses. Would I be surprised if Leeds came back in with another offer? No, I wouldn't. This one still feels far from over. The John Stones situation. This is the biggest surprise link for me of the entire window. BBC Sport mentioned that Leeds, alongside Juventus and Inter, were interested. We all did a double take when we saw that. The reports have generated significant discussion among supporters, although no agreement has been reported. We've got to be realistic with this. There are obvious questions. Salary, Stones' age, Manchester City's plans. Would Stones even want the move? But if Leeds genuinely have an opportunity to sign one of England's finest defenders of the last decade, you have to investigate it. His leadership alone would transform the dressing room. This feels like one to monitor rather than one that's actually going ahead. Also, within the last 48 hours, Arsenal have emerged as likely suitors for him as well. Yunus Musa popped up again. It's another reoccurring theme for us. The American international does offer what Leeds like. He's athletic, he's dynamic, he's press resistant, he's able to play multiple midfield roles. Reports linking Leeds haven't completely disappeared, but equally, there hasn't been a major breakthrough. If anything, it feels like Leeds are keeping him on a short list while focusing on other priorities first. Could that change later in the window? Definitely. And if you look at the way he performed last season, I'd be an iffy on that one if it was me, in all honesty. Jacob Zetterström, the Swedish goalkeeper, remains firmly in the conversation. If Trafford becomes impossible, Zetterström could become one of Leeds' strongest alternatives. He's experienced, excellent with distribution, comfortable commanding his penalty area. The advantage of that, he'd likely cost less than Trafford, while still improving Leeds' goalkeeping department. Does feel sensible. It's not glamorous, but it is sensible. And the last one, I'm not going to go into too much detail because I'm fed up of talking about him now, is Zion Suzuki. Could not care less now. Done and dusted with it. Parma want ridiculous money for him. We're not going to go to that money for him when we could go and get a Trafford for a similar amount of money who is tried and tested, in my opinion. So, again, it's one that's probably just floating in the background, in my humble opinion. So, if we move on to the next one. Third, Mr. Joel Piroe. According to recent reports, Piroe remains one of the players who could leave Ellen Road before the transfer window closes, with speculation continuing over his future. There hasn't been confirmation of an agreed transfer, no official bids have been announced publicly, but his name continues appearing whenever Leeds supporters discuss potential departures. It probably comes down to one simple question. Does Farkas see him as starting regularly in the Premier League? If the answer is no, Leeds will have to make a decision on whether or not this would be the ideal time to generate funds for further signings. Personally, I'd only sell if Leeds had another striker lined up. Goals, remain incredibly difficult to replace. Just incredibly difficult to replace. Now, the big thing about this is that today Piroe has come out and said that he sees his future at Leeds United. He wants to stay. Obviously, things can change. He sees that, and he'll wait and see how it kind of goes. So I'd probably say wait and see what happens with pre-season and how that kind of works itself out. I mean, listen, I admire him for saying that he doesn't want to leave and that he sees his future at Leeds United. I think that's a very loyal thing to say. I think that's very rare in today's arena of football players for that to actually happen. So on that basis, it's going to be interesting. But I think we have to face facts with Piroe, and that is that he is going to have to move on. I don't see him playing regularly. I just don't see him playing enough, and he hardly played last season at all. And when he did come on, he didn't look brilliant because he hadn't had the run of games to get match fit. It didn't work out for him very well at all. Although had his shot against Scum been a couple of inches lower, he could have won the game for us 2-1 against them at home, and that would have been an absolute all-timer, and he would have been a folk hero. But we'll just have to wait and see how that one pans itself out overall. Finally, some absolutely fantastic news. Jadon Lienou has signed until 2029. Brilliant academy news. He's committed his future to Leeds United by signing a new long-term contract until 2029. This is the sort of business that we want to see. Our academy has struggled over the last few seasons, so seeing academy players actually commit to the club is a really, really good thing. And for me, I think it shows a sign that he could be playing a lot more in the first team this season, or be involved with the first team a lot more this season as left-back cover, potentially. We'll just have to wait and see. Lienou has impressed coaches throughout the academy system. He's athletic, he's technically gifted, he's confident in possession, he's clearly viewed as somebody capable of pushing towards first-team football over the coming years. Deals like this don't usually grab the headlines, and I wouldn't normally talk about youth players, but for me, I do see him, Lienou. I'm going to say Lienou. I've called him Lienou. It's Lienou. I do see him as breaking through. He's that highly regarded. He is that highly regarded, definitely. If Leeds are serious about building sustainability in the Premier League, keeping players like Jadon is every bit as important as signing established stars. It's another sign that the club is making long-term decisions and thinking years down the line as opposed to the here and now. So from a conclusion point of view, where does that leave us off? I'll probably split today's stories into three groups. Very much alive, Brandt, Charles, Trafford. Possible but complicated, Stones, Musa, Zetterstrom. Fire him out of a cannon is the next one that I'm having, and that's going to be Suzuki. Long shot for now would be Schultz. As we mentioned, Piroe's future remains one to watch as the window develops. And with Jadon committing until 2029, it is excellent news for the club's future. One thing is clear. The transfer window is nowhere near slowing down, even though it's quiet. And if the last few weeks have taught us anything, things can change incredibly quickly. So, what I want you to do, usual thing, just let me know in the comments what you think. Just let me know where you're at with it and how you feel about everything. Like I said, I just wanted to give you that update, the little bit of information that I can do, and hopefully that keeps you going. I'm really, really pleased about the Jadon thing. I do think he's going to make some noise over the next couple of years, and I do think we're going to see a lot of him first team wise as well, potentially next season, hopefully, fingers crossed. So make sure you subscribed, make sure your notifications are turned on. Please comment down below, let me know what you think about the stuff that I've talked about today. How do you feel about it all? Please, comments are important for me. If you're listening to the audio version of this, just make sure that you are liking and you are also following on Spotify and Apple. How I remember some of that is completely beyond me, but that's another conversation for another day. Anyways, take care of each other. Most importantly, take care of yourself. Apologies that the videos have been a bit topsy-turvy in terms of time and everything, but I've had stuff to do. So yeah, thank you for your support as ever. I genuinely do appreciate it. Much love to you all. I'll speak to you on the next one. Take it easy. Cheers.